and welcome to the energy of the day for Monday, May 5th. So let's see what is going on for that day. Let's take a look here. What would like to come out for Monday, May 5th? May 5th, please. Energy of the day for May 5th, please, and thank you. What's going on for Monday, May 5th? I feel like there's one more potentially here. We do have prosperity lies ahead, but just give me a second. No, I think that's it. Oh, no. Don't let your past hold you back, and then luck is on your side. Adjustments are required. Okay. So prosperity lies ahead. Show the world the real you. Great. Underneath, emotions are running high. Okay. It seems like you may have gone through something over the weekend, potentially, like the last read that I did over the weekend, where you were trying to set yourself free from some things. Now it's apparently time to move forward and look towards better, look towards something nicer here. It seems like you've made up your mind. It seems like you just want to win in life, and that's okay. So let's see what wants to pop out alongside with this. That was the Eight of Pentacles. So it may be that some work is required ahead, but that's okay. That's not a problem. What would like to come out with this, please? Oh, there we go. A no to what? Well, there is something that you do require to protect yourself against or from. Oh, places that tell you no, those are not the ones for you. It's one of those things. Don't chase the no's, chase the yeses. Of course, if there's something that you require to change here, yeah, then it's okay to go back to the drawing board. But there are some things that it's like, after so many no's, it just turns into, I would call it maybe an annoyance at that point, where you require to go ahead and cut yourself off, look at the reality of it, and move about your merry way here. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. There's no reason to regret here. There's really no reason to regret here. There really isn't. I feel like they're like this, actually. Let me see underneath. Yeah, there's no reason to be distracted by situations that actually didn't work out for you. To be honest with you, this is one of those things where I think you're going to come to your own conclusion that if you are trying so hard with an individual or a certain situation and it was pushing back, it's mostly because it wasn't supposed to be for you. That's really what's going on here. Does the other party feel bad for the fact that it didn't work out? Yeah, they do. They also do. If it's between yourself and another person, then yes, there is this form of like disappointment here. And, it's also disappointment on your behalf too here, though. But yours is different. Yours is more about, why you thought that you should have been incorporating so much work into a place that didn't work out in the long run. It's almost like you regret the fact that you tried so much and it didn't work out anyway. So to a degree, you also may be regretting that you tried in the first place. Don't go that way. Okay, don't go that route. This is more of a lesson and not to become kind of like jaded from it. That's not what the point here is. The point of this whole thing is for you to learn some things, maybe learn some red flags here. And if people show you who they really are, then just go with it, run with it. Just be like, you know what? Okay, I get it. Thank you very much. And I understand this no. And I understand that it doesn't mean that I have to try harder with you. It just means that I need to leave. That's it. Because if I keep going ahead and I keep going against the grain of the actual mismatched energy, then I'm the one who's going to be feeling not so good in the long run. Yeah, I mean, the other person, sure, too. But it's more about, how you feel at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, it comes to you as like a realization that you need to go, right? Like you need to drop it, that kind of thing. And that's unfortunate. It doesn't mean that, don't ever have good hope for like another person in the long run, but it's just more about, pay attention when something is really not syncing up well, and ask yourself the questions why in order to figure out whether you should leave this situation or not, that kind of thing. And without regrets, without any kind of like anger or frustration or anything like that. Just tell this Knight of Wands, okay, thanks for the lesson and have a good one towards, for your happiness. Yeah, wish them well, and just leave it alone. You could have been in the third party situation, sure, platonic, romantic, career wise, whatever. Just realize that those other individuals that were involved in this conflict here, because that's the Five of Wands, definitely conflict and competition. Then just understand that they may not also feel very good. I mean, not now. They're not going to admit to it now, because it's a pride thing, right? It's a pride thing. They don't want to admit to their own mistakes, kind of thing. And but you don't have time for that. You don't have time to be telling people what is morally correct and morally incorrect, right? You don't have time for this. What you require to understand is the fact of, next time around, if a person tells you no in so few many ways, you just start paying attention, and then you start, understanding the situation, that, okay, not a problem, because if I keep going on with you, then I'm going to be the one in the long run that's stuck in this sad situation here. Give me a second though. So it's more like about foresight, right? Using your own sense of foresight in order to be able to tell the reality of the situation, and then, be able to move forward from it. Give me a second. That's the reality of the situation here, about a person telling no so many times. That's when a person requires to also face the music of this no and why it happened. The problematic part here is that a person has potentially some abandonment issues, or they do have some issues with being told no or something like that, and that's something to leave alone. That's something to discard of here. Don't feel bad that you need to, you need to give up protecting this situation that tells you no in the first place. There's really no reason to be doing that. Plus, you're torturing yourself emotionally, right? Emotionally. Here, though, it's talking about the disappointment in being in a type of conflict or confrontation or something of that nature. It may be that you didn't want to leave this situation or this person because you didn't want to be looked at as the bad guy, when really, they were amongst you in your surroundings here. Anyway, and it was mostly time for you to say, okay, you know what, this is not for me, this is not my thing, and I need to go. It's one of those types of situations. Okay, give me a second. I got to plug in the phone. Just a moment, please. So yeah, so basically, I'm back. So basically, you're going to understand that sometimes, it's not about trying to win somebody over on your side. It's just about facing your own reality of, just in case you might have a fear of abandonment, it's just facing that reality of it. And then just, understanding that sometimes people just don't match in their frequencies. Okay, that's really what it's about here. Let's keep going though. I have a feeling that once you start, moving forward for yourself, you're going to have that prosperity, which is coming in the future. It's not with this situation. It's after you've left the situation. That's when that, Three of Cups, that celebration starts to come in for you, kind of thing, because you've realized, you've realized the mistake of the actual, the actual dynamic here. And, sometimes it's hard to say that you were also at fault. It is hard to admit to that, but sometimes it's like that, right? It does happen that way. And then when we kind of acknowledge it, and then we're like, okay, next time I'm not going to be doing that much, to like save everything. And I'm just going to allow the, dumpster fire to burn down, because if that's what the other person wants, then that there's not much I can do. It's one of those things. Still try to fight your way through it kind of thing, but up until the point where you're just like depleted and stuff, that's just no. That's a no. That's the time to throw in the towel. Signs wise, we do have the Five of Cups being the Scorpio here, Five of Pentacles Taurus, Ace of Swords here. You've got 3 5s out here. Wow. Ace of Swords here, you may want to check into that. Is the Gemini Libra. Five of Wands feels like a Leo Aries. Seven of Wands is more of a Sagittarius and Leo. Four of Cups, Pisces, a little bit of Cancer here too. Knight of Wands is basically every fire sign, but this one here I feel more like an Aries. And then, of course, we've got that Taurus over here, right? All right, let's see what type of energy wants to pop through with this. So just give me a second. Let me take a look. We have Leo. All right, I think I also understand what's going on here. It was more about, the outside look of things rather than the real behind the scenes stuff here. Let me just keep going. Let me see what else. Yeah, let me see what else wants to pop out here. Sagittarius. Yeah, I mean, you may have wanted to make it look like everything was fine, or the other person may have wanted to look like everything was fine, but behind closed doors there were a lot of dumpster fires happening, and a lot of things that were, closed off, and not really all that open, not really all that communicative, not really, there it is. Living a dream, living a dream rather than living in reality, that kind of thing. And that's where this misunderstanding between you guys actually happened here, is that you kept trying to keep the faith alive here while it wasn't really doing much at all here. There wasn't much of like solutions, right? There weren't many solutions being given here, or even being incorporated here. Anything else? Yeah. There, we're done. Okay. We're all finished up here. So we've got Venus, Uranus, Pisces, Cancer, Sagittarius, Leo. So Libra and Taurus, and then Aquarius here. There just wasn't all that much. There wasn't all that much figuring out of solutions here. It was just everything everywhere, and nobody really said anything, and people were, sweeping things under the rug, or turning specific situations that were supposed to be spoken about into invisible elephants in the room kind of thing. So let me see what kind of thing here is required. We've got loyalty. So you may be feeling like those around you let you down or are not doing their fair share of work. This comes as a reminder that loyalty exists and you must not settle for anything less. You deserve better than mixed signals. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Once you kind of understood the reality of the situation, how you were not as matched to the frequency of this situation, these surroundings, these people, these circles, right? This lover, whatever. Family members, whatever this is, colleagues, you just decided to kind of face the music of it. You decided to understand that, hey, well, if I can't have their loyalty, then I will, pick myself up and go towards a direction that gives me that loyalty that I actually require, in terms like for me to feel safe in, or for me to feel like things are actually matching well here. Well, I mean, that's completely up to you. I do see some people who are going to face the music, the reality of the situation here, breaking past any kind of, pretend barriers, and moving forward for themselves where their prosperity lies ahead, kind of thing, right? I wish you guys all the very best. Have a great one. And I will see you all on Tuesday. Bye-bye.